Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to start this video off by saying I'm sorry that we haven't really posted any content in the last couple months. I've been super busy. I was doing basement renovations and I actually had a baby as well, so I've had absolutely no free time for the last couple months, as well as just life and trying to get to the track as much as possible. But I'm done the basement. Baby's getting a little bit older and a little more independent. Racing's done, and I don't really have much on the go at the moment. So that means we can start tackling some projects. For those that are interested in the Miata, we definitely beat that up a lot this season. It needs a lot of TLC, but it's not here right now. I've got it in storage. It's going to be in storage until about March, maybe April. I don't know yet. But once it gets out, we're going to tackle that and do some much needed maintenance and modifications on it. But in the meantime, for this winter, what we're going to do is we're going to tackle this. Take this off the stand here. So, as some of you may know, this is my 1979 Mazda RX7. It's an SA22 or an FB, essentially. And the last time you saw it, we pulled the engine out of it. As you can see, I've done a little bit more since the last time you saw it, with what little free time I've had. It's completely gutted it now. Just a couple brake lines and fuel lines left. Harness has been removed. Brake master, clutch master, all that. Heater core, AC, everything has been removed. Basically, the only thing left is the subframe, sway bar, and steering box. As well as it's been completely gutted on the interior. I've got the dash pulled, harness pulled, all the carpet pulled, everything. As well as I sold some rear end parts because we're not going to be using this axle. But yeah, so for those that don't know, we're going to be building this into a drag car. It's never going to see the road again, so I wanted to bring it down to a bare shell, or as close to as a bare shell as possible, before we got into building this. We're going to build a quarter-mile car. It's going to be turbo LS with a either 4L80E or a TH400 transmission, whatever I can get my hand on, as well as a Ford 8.8 in the rear end. It's going to be a small tire car, and again, it's never going to see the road again, so interior, electronics really don't matter. That's why it's been stripped down as far as I stripped it down. So today, we're going to be doing a simple project. I've only got a little bit of time today, but I was thinking, what does every project need? Every time you do a little more or a little anything on a project car, first thing you got to do is sit in the driver's seat, grab the steering wheel, and make some race car sounds, right? Well, can't really do that. We've got the steering wheel, don't have a seat, but I've got this old Kirky that I picked up off a marketplace for a couple dollars, got it on a really good deal, and I was thinking, might as well try and put it into the car right now. And that way, every time we do something, we can sit in the driver's seat and make some race car sounds. I don't have an aftermarket Kirky seat mount or bracket. What I was thinking about doing is I'm going to reuse these OEM seat brackets. I know technically you're not supposed to, but my train of thought is, for anybody who's seen the channel, they know that I really like to let my friends, and a lot of people that I barely even know, drive my car, because I'm a firm believer that lots of people, they want to get into cars, but it's a very overwhelming thought to kind of just go out and pick up a car and jump head first. So I like to lend my car to them, let them drive on the track, let them have a good time, and it really kind of, there's no better way to introduce someone to a sport than having them do it, And I want that with this car. By keeping the OEM sliders, I'm able to have all my friends drive, short, tall, doesn't matter. Slide it and they can do a pass. until it starts getting really fast. But For the meantime, I'm thinking, let's toss these OEM sliders on. I'm gonna have to weld up a bracket. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I measured, I fastened, fully secured the seat rails to the chassis, and I measured from outer to outer, which gave me 16 5/8. That's gonna leave me a couple, a little bit to go in and drill some holes so we can mount it, as well as kind of clean up the edges and make it look nice. So it's 15 5/8. Let's see, I've got it marked there. I got a square right here, just a cheap, more craft square. Lost my speed square when I was doing construction in the basement. Both front and back are the exact same size. I'm gonna get these cut out. We're gonna put them in, drill our holes, and then we're gonna figure out our cross. Maybe we'll do an X, I don't know yet. That arm that slides the seat back and forth, being kind of raised, is really screwing us, because I would like to make just a square and put an angle in the middle of it. But again, since it's protruded up, I can't really go across it. I might be able to notch this out, actually. We'll see. That's actually maybe a good idea. Yeah, we'll see. You know what? I'm gonna do exactly that. So I'm gonna get this cut. Let's start there. So I was just looking at the wheel on this grinder. Seen better days, but there's a lot of meat on that bone. I'm gonna use it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put some 45s in it so I can make the square. Normally I'm not scared of power tools, but this kind of sketched me out, so I'm just gonna change it. Not worth losing a fucking eye over for a meme. Okay, so it's just gonna go there, sort of. Then I'll weld some. I'll make a second one. Yeah. So I'll make a second one, basically that, and then I will get this measurement and make the square, and then I'm gonna notch out the square tube to accommodate for this here. Just this small piece, and then we'll build an X bracket. Sorry for my filming. An X bracket here. So, let's go replicate this. Okay, so, as you can see, that's hot. I've got the two pieces here. You can kind of get the idea I'm going for now. I'm just gonna span it here, and then do an a cross there. I originally wanted to be able to bolt this to it so I didn't ruin the OEM brackets, but I think I might tack these so that I can keep it square, and then I'll weld this in, and then I'll pop those tacks off and finish welding it, and then drill my holes. I think that makes sense. We'll see. I think it makes sense. It does in my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean those off a smidge. And you know what? I'm just going to weld it right to it. I don't care. Who cares? Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a welder, I'm not a fabricator, I don't claim to be one. In fact, I've probably only welded enough to count on one hand. This is just a cheap flux core welder that I've borrowed from my brother. And yeah, I'm going to try this. Don't judge me too hard. I'm going to get some gas and make this a MIG sooner than later. But yeah, don't judge me too hard. Here we go. Okay, so I've got it out of the car. Like I said, I'm not a welder. I'm actually, even for not being a welder, I'm very disappointed in these. Hopefully I can clean it up. Let's see. So it's definitely still not pretty. If I will focus there. But I think it's okay. I'll grind them down anyway. So enjoy this time lapse, boys. Let's go see if this fits. Okay, so a couple days have passed. This is what I left off with last time. I've got these welded in. It has warped a little bit. I'm having a hard time getting this tab into the chassis. I knew that it was going to warp. I know that welding makes things warp, but I don't think I'm going to cut this off and restart it because I don't know how to resolve the issue, and I'm happy with this, so I would hate to go backwards to just continuously have the issue. My thought is that tab is flimsy enough that I could bend it or cut it off and maybe weld it back on. Worst case scenario. So I'm gonna finish this up. And then before I paint it, I'm gonna work on final fitment. So let's get this. Okay, so I've got both those cut. They need some adjustment. If you look at this one, it's pretty close. It can kind of lose maybe an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch. But now the issue is I'm running into is this here is elevated off of this. So I'm gonna have to notch that out so that I can maintain the OEM slider here. No big deal. I'm gonna get this measured out. We're gonna cut it and see if it works. Let's go. So, I'm just gonna eyeball it because it's not that big a deal, I don't think. Do that. There. Right there. Then a small one right there. Yeah. So I think that should be good. I'm gonna do this, go up there. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut out these little notches here. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so got this cut. It's not clean yet. I'm still gonna hit it with the flap wheel. I just wanted to make sure it fits. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It is a little bit long, so I'm gonna take a little bit off of this side. Yeah, but I'm happy with this. Let's clean it up and then we'll weld it in and we'll get the other side done. I've got this cleaned up now. Definitely not the prettiest thing, but it fits well. It's all cleaned up, ready to weld. Same as this. Again, that's also not the prettiest thing, but it doesn't really have to be that pretty. I'm gonna grind everything down and paint it afterwards. But as you see, that fit isn't too bad. I'm actually quite happy with that. I've definitely got a gap that I've got to fill on one side, which I'm a bit nervous about, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. The gap I'm talking about is just right here. My angle was off, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. So let's get this clamped down and let's weld it. Okay, so I've been honest with you since the very beginning. I'm not a welder, but I'm gonna show you what I did. I'm a little bit embarrassed. So don't judge me too hard. I'm still learning, okay? Here we go. I'm sorry you have to see this. So I was able to fill up that gap pretty good. It's still hot, so I'm not gonna touch it. And I did lubricate it just now, so I could get that slag out of it. But yeah, definitely not the prettiest. It'll focus here, sorry. Definitely not the prettiest welds. Focus. But the holes are all filled. And I think that's strong. I think it's gonna hold, and it still moves too. So I'm gonna hit that with a flap disc, and I'm gonna paint it anyway. You'll never know, I don't think, I don't know. So let's get that other side done. Okay, so I just finished welding this up. I decided to just finish it, seeing as it was pretty redundant for me to just continue filming it. I put this X brace in. I was going to put a straight one in, but then I remembered that where the seat gets mounted, eventually the crotch strap for a seatbelt will have to get mounted in there, so I had to kind of make room for it there. Again, I'm not a welder. I don't claim to be one. But I'm pretty happy with this. It's definitely overkill. Yeah, that's overkill. This isn't going to go anywhere, hopefully. But yeah, let's grind these down with the flap wheel so it looks a little bit nicer. I'm going to test fit it in the car, drill some holes in it to mount the seat, and then we're going to paint it and install it permanently for the most part. Let's get to it. So, as you can see, I ground off all those welds. What's that saying? A grinder in paint makes me the welder I ain't, or something like that. Anyways, I'm happy with that. That's the only side you're going to see anyway. So, once I get some paint on that, you'll never even know. So, let's try and fit this in the car, make some final adjustments. Then I'm going to put the seat in, drill some holes, and we'll paint it. Let's go. Okay, so now the plan here is I'm going to put the seat on, kind of mark center roughly, and then I'm going to drill some holes for us to mount the seat. Then this is going to get painted, and we're going to mount the seat and we're done. So that is what, 18 and a quarter, sorry, 8 and a quarter rather. So that's 8 and a quarter. I will do 8 and a quarter. I will do 6 in. That might be too narrow. 5 in. 5 in, that should leave just about 7. Yeah, that's what we'll do. 5 in. 5 in. And what was our center? 8 and a quarter. That center right there. 8 and a quarter. Okay. I got this seat in, mounted pretty securely. I'm not gonna use that hardware. It was just what I had laying around. I'll go get some grade 8 nuts and bolts. I'm also gonna paint this, but I'm gonna call this done for now. With that being said though, there's really only one thing left to do. This seat was put in for one reason and one reason only. So yeah, let's get to it. Guys, we just went $6.99. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'm not a fabricator. If you have any tips or tricks, be sure to let me know in the comments. I kind of know what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to utilize the bandsaw, and I'm going to convert the welder to a MIG welder just by getting gas and some new wire. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and we're really going to start kicking it off here with the build videos. See you next time.